Hello, this is Jamie Mitchell, and we are back with another episode of the Libertarian Uncensored podcast. Let's get right into it. First, we have Speaker McCarthy says House start an impeachment inquiry into President Biden from NPR.org by Flimsy Out 5563, and I said, whoever the president is, they probably deserve to get impeached. I would say the same thing if I ever gotten there. Of course, the president's just a figurehead, so nothing will really change regardless. They are all puppets. Nothing will change. I don't think Joe Biden is uniquely corrupt. I think all the politicians are really corrupt, and I don't really think Joe Biden is an exception there. So I hope they get him, but I don't know if they will, because Joe Biden, unlike the previous president, has the media and the narrative on his side mostly, I would say. When evidence goes against the out group, it's facts. When it goes against the in group, it's propaganda. That's why a lot of people on Reddit probably still think the Steele dossier is 100% legitimate. So, you gotta wonder if they'll get Joe Biden. I don't think they will, but, I'm glad they're at least trying, I would say. Next, we have CEOs think they alone make a business a success. It doesn't matter how smart CEO is; they are not able to do shit without workers, and that's from International Over Once. Across was from the work reform subreddit, and Sabine from The Simpsons. Homer Simpson's CEO, and then the Sherpas pulling up the mountain are the workers. And then he wakes up, he says, "Look how far I climbed, I'm not even tired." So I guess I would agree with that. The thing is, people do need workers for people, and that's how capitalism works. There's trade-offs between who has the resources for what, and how each person utilizes those resources. And I think that's important to remember. You're not forced to work for someone else. And I think if you think you can get resources your own way, you should be able to do so. That's my thoughts there. Then we absolutely mean it. Paperwork drafted, consulted with 3 attorneys, actively seeking the best representation in TC. These people are not fit to stay home alone for a day. However, they will not lead the country. From Angela McCardle on Twitter, and I posted that, and that was her response to the LP tweeting about how they're going to seek conservationship over Biden and McConnell. And I said, sadly, it seems that the FBI/CIA/military industrial complex have it already. I think Dianne Feinstein's door has it over her as well, so she might as well be a sitting senator. The thing is, I definitely do think they should try and have mentally competent people in government. The thing is that being mentally incompetent is kind of a bug, not a feature, not a bug, because they're all puppets, and really it's the CIA, FBI, and all the deep state running the country, and not them. They're just there to be figureheads. Then we have Justin. CIA rewarded multiple analysts with significant financial incentives to change their code origins and conclusions from a lab leak to zoonosis, according to a highly credible whistleblower from U.S. House Select Subcommittee, and that's from Disclosed TV on Twitter, and I posted that, and I said, not at all surprising, sadly. The CIA, the deep state, always tries to control the narrative, and this is just another example of them doing that, I would say. Then we have, this is so basic, I don't think they realize it, because when you pull back the veneer of patriotism, U.S. is a police state with one of the world's highest incarceration rate, and that's a cross post from the political meme subreddit by Chi-Town20, and I guess I would agree there. I was surprised agreement there, because, I agree that the police are simply the foot soldiers for the state, and the state is just going to be bullied, and the state is just going to enforce its laws regardless of, they'll enforce the laws regardless of what they are. If the law is suddenly, you gotta start eating children, some cops would comply with that, and that's not good. You got to stand up to the state and its foot soldiers and the police and military, and you got to support yourself over the state. You can't rely on the state for the answers to your problems. You gotta support, just because the state wants to control you. You can't let the state control you, and that's something that I think is very important. But then we have, but the Democrats are organizing government, and that's number by China 20. It's across from the conservative terrorism subreddit, and it's a tweet from No Life Brian Tyler Cohen. Breaking news: Kevin McCarthy is now calling Republicans to launch an impeachment inquiry against President Biden, even though lawmakers admit they have no evidence against Biden. And I said, if laws can be used against your enemies, they can be used against your friends. Nothing will come of it, though. The elites never face consequences. Like Trump, he always manages to emerge from all the criminal indictments, and I will believe that until he's punished, which, as I say, is probably going to be house arrest at most, I would say. So, the elites are never going to face consequences. This is all just kind of political theater. You're not supposed politics kind of. It's all just theater and, what's the other word? Virtue signaling. That's all pretty much politics is these days. Then we have the American right-wing libertarian telling of economic history is incredibly intellectually unserious from Substack.com by across from the It Could Happen Here subreddit by Chi-Town20. And I said, yes, because the average Redditor is arguably the most intellectually serious person on the planet. Sarcasm. That's the thing. Reddit thinks they're so smart, but there's an old saying that 4chan is stupid, smart people acting stupid, and Reddit is stupid people acting smart, and that's definitely still true today, I would say. Definitely the Reddit part. I'm not sure it's 4chan part, but definitely the Reddit part. Then we have Prattville Councilman Gornto threatens legal action against critical citizen from ALReporter.com, and that's across from the Alabama subreddit by Chi-Town20. And I definitely do think the council people shouldn't be threatening lawsuits against anyone. But I guess I personally don't think we should have lawsuits at all. I think we should just have let force just decide what's right and wrong, I would say. That's more realistic to how the world works, I would say, than have a bunch of people in robes and suits telling us how the world how law works. I think we need the people to run the law and not that of the state or the legal system. Then we have today's LP from Patom13, and that's a cross post from the from the political humor subreddit, and it's the Libertarian Porcupine. I'm a Libertarian. I believe in individual freedom, small government, open borders, no tax, against the rules of an independent free person. And then the elephant says, I'm Republican. I'm also into authoritarianism. I believe the government should meddle with reproduction and sexuality. I hate immigrants and tax breach, but only for the rich. And it says American or Libertarian, and he has the porcupines on the elephant's leash. And I said, the GOP is controlled opposition, if anything, but Reddit believes they are all MTG/Bobert/Gates people. The Constitution Party is more like Reddit's perception of the GOP than the RL one. I'm just saying Reddit is at a point where they can't tell the difference between extremely milquetoast Republican and Paul Ryan and Adolf Hitler. I don't really care for the GOP's anti-free trade, anti-immigration, and pro-life policies. But, the GOP sued me and kicked me off the ballot. So, if anything, the RNC is just kind of an extension of the DNC, I would say. They're all just the same uniparty, despite what stuff like this says, Then we have how authoritarian uses the religious right to make cruelty sacred and compassionate unchristian. If someone aspiring to be a loving, empathetic human being causes you discomfort, then you should give you a pause. And that's from JohnPavlitz.com, across from the Christianity subreddit by Chi-Town20. And I definitely agree. I think the religious rights has too much power from the Republican Party, and that's why I think, we got to have a separation of church and state, because, to a lot of people these days, the state is the church, and that's why a lot of people are trying to use the state as a means to push their agenda, both on the right and the left, and that's why I think we just got to get away from the state. We can't let the state and the civic religion that has become the government, we can't let that rule over our lives, I would say. If you want to be a Christian or a Muslim or an atheist, I think you should be able to, but I don't think you should be forced to do so by the state. And I think in this current climate, you're forced to worship the state, I would argue. That's my thoughts there. Then we have automate the rich. AI can't replace all workers, but it can replace all capitalists and billionaires. Never run by Chi-Town20. And that's from the r/work reform subreddit. That's a tweet from Dennis Hogan. I guess I would agree there. The thing is, Um, uh, the thing is that, the ChatGPT, I don't know if we should get too involved in it because, I think, it's too, it might be, I don't want to get too, I don't think we should be too involved in, like anything, but, if people want to rely on ChatGPT for the answers, I think they should be able to do so, just let everyone rely on their own answers as long as they're not violating the net. Then we have former GOP congressman, now Midas Touch contributor Denver Reigelman discussed the dark mindset that drives his former party in Congress, and that's from Chi-Town 20 across what's from the It Could Happen Here subreddit. And, yeah, it's just kind of another agenda post by them, I would say, yeah. Then we have U.S. to argue Google abused power to monopolize the internet search as an antitrust trial begins. That's from Chi-Town 20 across from the technology subreddit. I said, and Dr. Gonzo said, good, I think Google did leverage monopolies for extended reach over all devices. I would love to see some real competition for internet search features. And I said, agreed, but I don't want the government to force competition. It should be up to the market to do that, and that's why I think, the state's trying to force competition, not the market. I think that's a problem here. Then we have Matt Gaetz threatens McCarthy with daily attempt to remove him as speaker from Axios.com. And that's by FlimsyL5563. And I said, good, it's probably mostly theater, though. Gaetz wants to appeal to his populist base and knows nothing is really going to happen. Politics is pretty much all just virtue signaling theater, as I said earlier. He wants to look like he's holding accountable. He's not really going to hold him accountable, I would say. Then we have Nate Silver. I'm definitely not a capital L libertarian. I have some lowercase L libertarian tendencies from NateSilver.net by Dr. Gonzo. And, yeah, I guess, if he wants to consider him a libertarian, I don't know if I would consider him libertarian, but, I consider him more of a neoliberal, but, if you want to consider yourself libertarian, I think you should be able to, it's not my, if you want to consider yourself whatever you want, you're just not allowed to force people, you shouldn't be forcing people to agree to that, though, I would say. Then we have Study Intelligence Predicts Wealth and Success from Ruin My Circle Jerk, and that's from journals.sagefund.com. And I would agree, if the more intelligent people generally are able to access more resources, so I definitely would kind of agree there. Then we have California just became the first state to pass libertarian-style policy of electronic right to repair from ifixit.com from Chi-Town 20, and I guess they could argue that's libertarian policy, I don't know if companies should be forced to do something, if you think I don't know, I personally wouldn't consider that libertarian policy, but if you want to consider a libertarian policy, you should be able to do so, but, I don't think private companies should be forced to do anything, but I definitely don't care for planned obsolescence either, but I don't think the company should be forced to do anything by the state, I would say. Then we have Vivek Ramaswamy is wrong about the national debt from Reason.com by Ruin My Circle Jerk, and I guess I would agree there. I like Ramaswamy. He's probably my favorite of the GOP candidates currently, but I definitely agree he's not nearly perfect, and that's why I'd probably go for an LP candidate over him. Then we have a big new report on American children is out. It's horrific, and the horror is led by authoritarian Republicans who support indoctrination of children for child marriage from Slate.com. And I guess I would, I think everyone just wants to use kids to push their agenda, the Republicans with the traditionalist agenda, and the Dems with the progressive agenda. And that's why I really think kids are probably miserable right now, I would say, especially with how politicized all our culture has gotten. Then we have Senator Tuberville says military leaders should be fired over failure to defeat the Taliban. It's just one of many reasons Trump was fired, found in the Taliban occupation from cspan.com, just cspan.org, and Chi-Town 20. And I guess I would agree with that. You know, the thing is, I personally do think Trump's push to get South Afghanistan was the right direction, but you know, I don't think it's the U.S.'s job to police the world. So I would personally disagree with Tuberville there. You know, Tuberville seems like he's kind of like the classic GWB neocon, I would say. Then we have Tennessee GOP hints that open fascism policy used during the special session rules that silence minorities may become permanent from TalkingPointsMemo.com by Chi-Town20. And I said, if I had a nickel for every time you said fascist or variation of it, I would be a billionaire. You know, he's always saying fascism, you know. If he's, you know, that's what the fascism is kind of right. You know, if you script the DNC narrative at all, you're a fascist. This is how bad it's gotten on Reddit. You know, that's why I think, you know, it's just kind of a circle jerk. The whole website, I would say. It's pretty much all just arseless politics at this point. Then we have Senator John Fetterman mocks Biden impeachment inquiry. Oh, it's devastating. Don't do that. From RealColorPolitics.com by Claudia blah blah blah. And I said, man who isn't fit and mentally fit enough to be senator vouches for man who isn't mentally fit enough to be president. No surprises here. You know, I'm pretty sure I got a lot of downvotes for that one, but you know, the thing is, I'm sure if Fetterman had the wrong letter next to his name, they'd agree that he really didn't recover from the stroke too well, I would say. Then we have Ninja Lover is going full mask off by Room My Circle Jerk, and yeah, because apparently Room My Circle Jerk blocked them, but he was still replying anyway since they're a mod. And I said, not surprising, the only standards that most people have are double. And then finally, we have Russia's authoritarian tyrant Putin praises American tyrant Elon as an outstanding person and talented businessman capitalist from Chi-Town Idol 20, and that's from CNBC.com. And I don't know if I would consider, I guess you could argue both of those guys are tyrants. So definitely Putin's tyrant. I'm not sure as Elon, you know, he could argue he's a corporate tyrant. But, I personally just think this is an Tesla man bad post. You know, Reddit says anyone who the media says to go after will go after, and that's pretty much it. So I think we're, let's see if we have anything new. I think we're going to wrap it up there. And I'll see you guys next episode. Bye.